Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Is XRP useless now? Well, I have to confess, this particular new competitor to Ripple is definitely trying something that has never been done before. That's for damn sure. I'm not so sure it's a good thing. In fact, I do not think it is. But I'll share with you some of the specifics here. But here's a headline from Cointelegraph. Former PayPal employees launch decentralized cross-border payment network on Algorand. And it's not just two PayPal employees, former PayPal employees that have launched this. It's also a former Ripple employee, or at least he's an advisor according to their website here. But yes, a former Ripple employee involved with this as well. And so what's the key difference that I've never seen attempted before? It's a concept I've talked about many times on this channel, but what is it? It's the utilization of a stablecoin as a bridge currency, but not just a bridge currency. So there's a lot to unpack here, but before we go any further, I do want to be clear that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who likes making YouTube videos as a fun hobby. And so over the last day or so, there have been a ton of articles popping off about this new competitor to Ripple. As on Cointelegraph, there's another one here on CoinDesk. Ex-PayPal execs launch cross-border payments network on Algorand. Here's one from Finance Feeds titled "SEC vs. Ripple takes its toll as fresh competition arises. Algorand-powered 6 clovers." And so it was fascinating seeing the just who's coming together in this. Former PayPal executives and a former Ripple employee, and utilization of a stablecoin. Okay, let's talk. This is going to be a fun conversation. So in the Cointelegraph piece, 2 former PayPal workers in a business and technology have launched a cross-border payment system aimed at, quote, faster, cheaper, and more transparent systems, end quote. In an announcement on Tuesday, fintech infrastructure firm 6 Clovers said it launched its Rapid Network, which connects banks, merchants, and payment providers, allowing clients to transact in digital currency and fiat. So I already got a pause right there. Did anything in that sentence raise your ears? Anybody listening out there? Rapid Network? I kid you not. Look, for those of you that are new, you may not be aware. The on-demand liquidity, Ripple software that utilizes XRP as a bridge currency, it used to be called XRapid. This firm has software that's doing much of the same thing, and they call it Rapid Networks. There's no X in front of it. It's just Rapid Network. And there happens to be a former Ripple employee, one of Ripple's first employees ever, actually, who's working with the team here. What in the ever-loving hell? Did they hijack the name, basically, Ripple's old branding of XRapid, now on-demand liquidity? I don't know. That's a little odd, though, isn't it? Let's continue, though. Founded by former PayPal employees and backed by venture capital firm Borderless Capital, the network is built on the Algorand blockchain and employs the technology behind stablecoins to represent fiat. And here's a quote. 6 Clovers is creating a bridge between traditional and decentralized finance, expanding access to the next generation of digital products and services, said the Algorand CEO, Steve Kokinos. I don't know if I'm saying the name right. But anyway, the project claimed that its network will offer an alternative for payment providers currently using the SWIFT protocol for cross-border payments. And so I'll pause right there, of course. Especially for anybody new, you need to be aware of this. The SWIFT network, that's the way in which money's been moving around. It's the legacy financial system. That's what's been used for the last 50 years, roughly. And it requires pre-funding of accounts. And really, the only solution that has been, even to this point, at this exact point in time, the only solution to the pre-funding of accounts problem that's ever been devised by humans requires a cryptocurrency to be positioned, right? And XRP is the only one that's being positioned for this use case until now. And now you're talking about a stable coin. being positioned for this use case. Rapid uses USD coin, or USDC for short, to represent fiat on the Algorand blockchain, provides peer-to-peer transactions, and can reportedly handle up to 46,000 transactions per second. And here's the quote. Here's a quote that's very interesting. Fueling cross-border transactions with regulated stablecoins to represent fiat on-chain has never been done before, said Borderless Capital CEO David Garcia. Yeah, it's definitely never been done before for a number of reasons. And I've talked about this quite a bit on my channel. You know, because here's the thing. If you're a business that is trying to make money in the world of cross-border payments and settlement, you got to kind of ask yourself here, like, how is it that you're going to make money positioning a stable coin to do this? How are you going to get global acceptance? How do you onboard new customers? What is going on here? And so if you're going to position a stable coin for this use case, you got to kind of wonder, like, are there not going to be jurisdictional issues at all? Would they not? Because consider this, like USDC, USD coin, it's representative of the United States dollar, right? And so it's not like with this representation, the terrible monetary policy that underlies it has changed. It's basically you're trying to get the whole world onboarded with the United States dollar, which historically hasn't gone very well. Right? It's just a new technological version with the same underlying monetary policy. And I think I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't think it's much of a limb. I don't think that every country around the world is going to necessarily be thrilled with that. And it actually gets a little bit worse. Let's go straight to their website. I think it was this page. Let me take a look here. Yeah, here's the Six Clovers website. Might have been this one, though. Yeah, here, check it out. How does Rapid work? I still can't get over that name. Instead of XRapid, how does Rapid work? Okay. You integrate the Six Clovers API, and then you obtain a reserve in USDC to transact on the Rapid network and offer instant payments. Did you hear that? In order to transact, you obtain a reserve in USDC to transact on the Rapid network and offer instant payments. That's the website here, their website, telling you that you must hold USDC in order to transact on their network. So it's like they're trying to make the United States dollar effectively the global means for payments and settlement and everything. Like, if we are literally to take this at face value, if their website means exactly what it says, in order to transact, you must hold USDC. Now, with RippleNet and on-demand liquidity, one of the perks, if you're a remittance company or a bank, you do not have to hold XRP. It is not a requirement. In fact, that was a major hurdle that Ripple ran into in the early days, is they wanted banks actually to hold XRP because they wanted adoption of a coin that they had a vested interest in. And they found that didn't really work so well. But what does work? Well, tapping into XRP liquidity that already exists in markets where it's speculated on and traded, right? And so that's a rather notable difference right there. But to try and force customers to use exactly this, you're going to make them convert their dollars into this. So then you've got counterparty trust issues because you've got what's the entity that runs USDC? If I'm not mistaken, is it Circle? I'd have to look it up right now. I haven't thought about that in a long time. But so you've got to have trust in that because they do claim that every single USDC is backed by an actual dollar, but they've never been audited. And so you kind of got to question, like, are we just going to blindly trust this? Because if you're a bank or a remittance firm, are you going to do that? Yeah, it sounds like the dollar because it says USD coin, but it's not the dollar. It represents the same underlying terrible monetary policy that's, because the United States dollar is just terribly being debased, obviously. But you got to kind of question it, since it's not the dollar. Are banks and remittance firms going to want to do that? And then you're into the same pre-funding issues, because if they've got to hold that, what the hell has functionally changed? And so, admittedly here, Six Clovers has not made it clear. I've gone over their whole website. they haven't made it sufficiently clear exactly how their platform's going to work and what the requirements and this and that are. So to some degree, yes, I acknowledge this. We do have to make assumptions here right now, but like a lot of the core problems that I've known were issues before knowing this company existed. A lot of the issues that I knew would accompany utilizing a stable coin or a bank coin or a central bank digital currency, they're still in play here. It's not been articulated why this isn't an issue, why counterparty, especially right here, counterparty risk, why is that something that suddenly banks, which are risk averse, why are they going to take that on? That is bizarre to me. I don't know how you get over the trust. I don't see the trust issue being solved. I just don't. I simply don't. And then on top of that, let's say that none of these things I'm talking about were problems. Let's say, oh, Matt's wrong. None of these are problems. They're all solved. There's a really good reason for this. I still must ask, why does this business win over Ripple then? Exactly. See, this is the thing that happens. When people see competitors, a lot of the times, and I understand why, you start to feel the fear, oh gosh, well, what if there is something else out there and it's going to win? And then you get back and no. Ask that again. Why would they win? What are they doing? What are they actually doing that's going to make them gain market share substantially faster than Ripple has? And in a more meaningful way. And in terms of not just payments, but settlement also. How is that going to happen? It's not clear. And so even if they have a good model here, it's not clear that they'd be the winner just because they now exist. But they've still got a whole bunch of stuff to get over here. And this is a startup with 3 people, mind you. So Ripple's got over 500 employees. And you're talking about XRP utilized as a bridge currency, jurisdictionless. You don't have to worry about a trust issue at all. In fact, any risk taken on by XRP, I mean, what is that effectively at this point? Outside of like governments coming after it or any cryptocurrency, fine. Outside of that, are we just worried about like there's a bug in the code we don't know about? Like, what is it? Because in terms of what it's worth, like market makers are already assuming that risk. Cryptocurrency exchanges that are already holding XRP are assuming that risk. So banks and remittance firms that are not in the business of that, they don't have to deal with any of that stuff. So I don't freaking know. But it's just ridiculous. So here's the 3 guys right now on your screen if you happen to be taking a look. There's the CEO on the left, the CTO in the middle, and the advisor Wellington Scully on the right. So he's the one that used to work at Ripple. And so I did a search on him on all up on the Googles, and I found this from November 20th, 2013. Think about that. Damn near 8 years ago. Interview with Welly Scully, Director of Business Development at Ripple Labs. And so I read through the thing, and what was most interesting to me is this highly pixelated picture. Like, talk about low res here. If you're going to have a low res picture, at least shrink it down. Like, this is too big. Come on, Ripple. What were you doing in 2013? But, so that's him right there. I'm almost at a loss here. Now, and so, I'm trying to think this because, like, if there's any way that this could work, I want to be aware of it. The best I could come up with at this point, and it still doesn't overcome like any of the trust hurdles or anything that I've already cited here. But what if it's the case that because look, let me show you a chart here in case you're looking. Where is it? I guess it was at the top of the screen. All right, here. So here's a little diagram. You've seen stuff like this before, probably, if you've looked at Ripple's graphics that they've created. They're using graphics to demonstrate how flows might work. And I had a bunch of questions when I was going through this. Like, it's not clear what all of these things mean, but some of them you get. And so you could originate transfers, starting with a bank. So it could be a bank transfer or a credit card, alternate payment methods. Got it. Okay. But what's your revenue model? Like, where are they trying to make money? Who are their customers going to be? Who's paying them, right? And so the one thing I could think of, because I've long stated that utilization of a stablecoin for so many reasons, including trust issues, are core. But even if you could get over the trust, let's say they could somehow get over those trust issues, which I'm not convinced they could. In terms of making this a profitable business, I don't know. I don't know how you're sufficiently going to do. Like, is it going to be the case that the remittances, if you're talking about converting from one fiat currency to another, is it going to be a value add service rather than a profit center? Because businesses do that. Like, they take loss on one thing to make money somewhere else. I don't know if they're going to do that. That's something that I hadn't considered until I was running through this, but still, it doesn't get over all of these hurdles that I've been talking about on this channel for 2.5 years. Because if you're not utilizing a decentralized cryptocurrency that has an open market price rather than being backed by something, you haven't solved for the biggest issue, which is the trust issue. And if you're settling specifically to USDC, if that's what they're doing, and that's not clear either, if they're settling to that rather than settling ultimately to a fiat currency, then I think you've got an even bigger hurdle, because at least as it stands in 2021 here, getting anyone to settle to USDC rather than fiat currency is a serious problem, because most of the world is not accepting a cryptocurrency of any kind, whether it's a centralized USDC or a Tether coin or a decentralized cryptocurrency like XRP. Firms are not accepting that. And so you still have a serious onboarding problem in terms of just getting customers, your customers, to utilize the platform. So there are a ton of questions. Their website, frankly, doesn't explain how this works, but I don't see how this couldn't be severely misguided if you're seeking to position a new digital version of the United States dollar as the solution. I don't see how that functionally works. So you let me know what you think. I'm not saying that they're going to be successful or not successful, but in terms of positioning a stablecoin, my gosh, maybe for some small parts of the world you can find it, and then if you're not trying to make profit off it also, if that's not your profit center, maybe you could find some traction in corners of the world. I don't know. Even then, good luck competing against Ripple, because they've got the network effect going for them, and I think utilizing the decentralized currency for all of this makes a whole lot more sense. So these are just some of my initial thoughts. As I ponder this in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead, I'm sure I'll have more to share. It is more interesting than a lot of the other quote-unquote XRP killers that I've talked about on the channel, because this is the first time a company is trying to utilize a stablecoin. And so yes, even though I've talked about the concept for a long time on this channel, there's never been a company that's actually tried to do it. And so that's interesting. So I want to know how this is even profitable for them, how they're solving the trust issues, all that stuff. And I'm legitimately curious. I do want to know. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.